Welcome. Today we're going to talk about these, the Jaybird Run XT headphones. When I reviewed these other ones, the Vankyo X200s, a while ago, someone suggested I try the Jaybird ones because they had really liked them. So since May, I've been using these as mostly my headphones, not always, but mostly, and I'm going to talk about it today. Before we do that, there are a few ways you can support the channel. Number one is to become a YouTube member. They get access to some of my videos earlier than everyone else, and they get my courses on Skillshare for free. You can also find my courses on Skillshare below. It's more around research, writing, stuff like that, than outdoor stuff. But it's a way to support the channel. Now let's buckle up and look at the Jaybird Run XT. First, let's start off talking about comfort. These have, and are pretty nice, a nice wing in them right here. So if you look, you can see that there is a bit of a wing that sticks up into your ear. It's not focusing on that. Oh, let's bring it back to me. A bit of a wing that runs into your ear, so putting them in, pretty easy. Just put them in, a little push on the wing, that's fine. They fit just nicely. There's also multiple sizes in there. So yeah, they fit me nicely just with the standard ones, although I wonder how they'd fit women, people with smaller ears, just because, you know, most things are designed for men, unfortunately, and it might be tough. But I find them comfortable, they seat well, they seal out sound decently, just mechanically. There's no noise canceling in here. And they don't fall out, even despite like bushwhacking sometimes, having stuff, you know, like whack at my ears while I'm out in the mountains. Not a problem at all. Controls. On the right side, you have two options. You have single tap plays or pauses, and double tap will either go forward if you're listening to music or podcast, or it will decline or hang up a call if you have calls coming in. The left earbud has one control, it's single tap or single press because they are buttons, and it will either accept a call or use your voice assistant. Overall, using the voice assistant I've found to be okay. It sort of works. It doesn't work as good as some other systems I've used, as some other headphones, but it works sometimes. The microphone is okay for calls. It's not great, but it's okay. Overall, I would say that they're okay as far as the controls. I wish there was more controls. There's no way to do volume up or down. I don't know if you could do like a squeeze on the headphones to have a volume up or down, or something, or a press and hold for volume up or down or something. But I mean, press and hold turns them on. To pair them, you press and hold when turning it on, and then it, you know, just keep holding until it says pairing, and then you pair it with your phone, your device. It'll do two devices as well. I usually just keep it with my phone because that's the one I'm really listening to when I'm out and about. Waterproof. They're good. They say they're IPX7. They've lasted for me. The biggest things that usually kill my headphones is like a sweaty treadmill run or a summer run. Those are the ones that really kill them. The rain doesn't seem to do it, but a sweaty, I get pretty sweaty when I'm running on the treadmill. That one really seems to get it. So they've lasted so far through that. I've done a couple really wet rides in them recently, and it's been fine. I did actually a really, really wet mountain run in it where it's like pouring rain for the first 2 hours, and then into snow, and then back into rain, and then we got a bit of sun, and they lasted through that as well. So they've been good. Now it's important to remember that the case is not waterproof at all, so it needs to be waterproofed, like you need to put it in a Ziploc something. And it's also important to remember that the pogo pins seem to be the weak point on these types of headphones. So with the Terra Pros, which I reviewed, and there'll be a link up above, what killed them was, and they said you could do this, you could like go for a run and partway through be like, oh, I'm running out of battery, and put the little battery clip on, and then it would just power up the headphones. You'd be good to go. But that seems to be the failure point, that when you hit the pogo pins, it allows water into the device in some fashion. So remember that when you, although they say, oh, a 5-minute charge will give you another hour, like I would not actually trust it to be like, I'm out in a run, it's really hot, I'm really sweaty, or it's pouring rain, and I'm going to pop them out, open the case, put them in for, 10 or 15 minutes while I keep moving, or even half an hour while I keep moving, and then pull them back out and hope. Now, I would actually be questioning whether that's going to work. I think it would probably break them. So I wouldn't actually do that with them. I would make sure you thoroughly dry them, let them sit for a little bit. I usually, dry them on a little bit of a towel when I come in from a ride or a run. Put them in my office here beside me, and then when I come back down later, I put them in the case to charge. Charging the headphones overall, it says it takes 3 hours in the case to get a full charge. Honestly, I don't even care about most of that. I just plug the case in every couple days. Once a week or so I plug the case in. Otherwise, I just use in the case. I don't know why people care how fast it charges. It just doesn't ever affect me. Sound quality, it's good enough for me. I don't know what you're expecting really. podcasts sound loud enough. Again, the problem is I gotta reach back behind me or get either into my back pocket of my cycling or into my bento bag on my gravel bike, or get into my pocket while I'm running and actually adjust the volume. But ultimately, it's fine. There's enough bass response. There's enough everything else. They're as good as any other wireless buds that I've used. I don't say they're exceptional anyways. They're certainly not as good as the AirPods Pro. AirPods Pro has a much better, just fuller sound to it. These are okay. My biggest complaint is actually when I stick it in the back pocket while I'm cycling, and I turn my head to do a shoulder check, they often cut out. One of the buds just cuts out, and then I have to wait. It comes back when I look forward again, but it's super annoying because you do shoulder check a lot, especially riding on the road where you're like, is there anybody coming up behind me? Is there a car coming? Just so you're aware of what's around you. And the headphones regularly cut out. So I don't know, 4 or 5 times on a ride, they just cut out. And sometimes they take a few seconds to sync. Sometimes I hit play pause on my one ear to get it to sync again, and they come back. So battery life. On the battery life front, they say that a single charge of the earbuds will give you 4 hours. I actually found that at the beginning, about 350 to 410 depending. Sometimes a little longer than 410 even, but not very often. And the thing I did a few times was about a 3-hour, 50-minute ride. I got to get back fast enough that the headphones aren't dead. It's just a fun way to, challenge myself. Now, I found more recently that they've been creeping down to about 330. So we've lost 20 to 40 minutes, depending on what number we go with. And then actually just this week, 2 days ago, I went out for a cool ride. It wasn't wet, it wasn't pouring rain, but it was cool. Not even cold enough I actually covered my ears on the bike, and I don't like cold ears, but cool. And in an hour and a half ride, at one point, they're like, hey, you're going to have to charge me. So 20%. So I've actually I've heard the 20% early a few times, but then they still seem to last the full time. So I was only an hour and a half ride. I didn't have a chance to really test it out, but battery life's been okay. It's been pretty close to what they stated, and it seems to dip pretty hard when it's cool. So we'll see how that holds up long term. Recommendation. So despite what I would say relatively good performance of these headphones, I actually hesitate to recommend any Jaybird product because I have 6 Jaybird cases around of headphones that just died. They died, and I decided, very shortly, and I warranted them 4 or 5 times, and then I said, forget it, I'm just done with this. So I have, I think, Terra Pros and Terras, and a bunch of other ones. The only ones that really lasted a long time were the Jaybird X1s, which we had for years. Now, the Terra Pros are actually still working for my wife just fine, so that's good, but I just never found they worked for me. So my overall recommendation was, if you sweat a lot in the summer, then maybe not. If you're in crazy wet environments, like lots of rain, something like I'm out near Vancouver, maybe not as well. Or if you're in on the treadmill sweating a lot, maybe not. But if you're not in those circumstances and 4 hours is kind of the limit of your activity, then you're probably good on these, right? I would say you're pretty good on these. They've lasted well, they fit comfortably, and I have been overall happy with the purchase. That's it. If you like the video, thumbs up below. If you'd love to subscribe, hit the bell. YouTube will let you know something happened. You can become a member on YouTube. Hit the join button below, or you can say super thanks if you like this as well. Other than that, have an excellent day.